liberal states, cities want to defund the police. Law enforcement in this country is something that should never even be a conversation to be defunded. We should put a lot of our resources towards law enforcement. As a matter of fact, we spend so much time building the biggest military in the world, which is great. We're strong, we're tough. How about we take some of that money and give it to local municipalities? How about we take some of that military money and we give it to local law enforcement? How about we give it to the military? So maybe, let's say, some of these police officers, and let's be honest, a lot of you guys are fat fucks, to go to a gym, just get proper nutrition. Maybe if you don't know how to talk to people correctly, maybe you don't know how to assess the situation correctly and not seeing, okay, you know what? Go over here and take some jujitsu or something. Maybe you need to calm down a little bit. Go learn how to meditate. Defund the police. Is America out of their goddamn minds? These are men and women that put their lives on the line for us every single day. Is there a few bad apples? Absolutely. But I don't know what job you do out there, but I could guarantee you could pick a couple of bad apples out of your crew too. It's life. It happens. There's people that are very charismatic. There's people that can walk into a room and sell ice to Eskimos. Yeah, you got the job. You're a racist. Never so evident in that Floyd thing. Listen, that guy Floyd wasn't a nice guy. But you could also turn it around and say that cop that killed him, he wasn't a nice guy either. So you look at that from an optic of the outside looking in. Defund the police. You defund the police department's going to be overrun with cops like that guy that killed whatever his name was, Floyd. Because they either A, they're just going to be really mad because they're not making any money, or they're just not going to show up. So to defund the police department, it's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life. You have to fund the police department. Something goes wrong, you don't attack it with something else or somebody else that you think that they're more qualified. Nobody is more qualified to talk to an absolutely insane person wielding a machete on 137th Street and Lenox Avenue than a New York City police officer. You're not going to say time out, let's call in the therapist. Nobody is more prepared than the New York City Police Department to do that. That's what you have to look into. Training. That takes money. Not defunding, funding. Gavin Newsom didn't want to do that. Kamala Harris did. Gavin Newsom was mayor. As soon as he left being mayor, became the governor, mayor came, switched up everything, and it became what it was and what it is today. I am not under any circumstances saying that Gavin Newsom is the right choice. The point I'm making about him is he seems to be a guy that's willing to listen. He seems to be like a guy who might be lying. I don't know. Knows how to talk to people. And I'm in no circumstance saying I'm going to vote for him for president because that's not happening either. I'm just looking at this from perspective of how I view people in society. And that guy's willing to talk. That guy's willing to listen. That guy's willing to take a joke too. It's unbelievable that somebody like this gets to make decisions for a bunch of pussies. Because he said the way he talks, the way he curses, the way he goddamns everything. He's a dad. But is he the president of the United States? I don't think so. But personality-wise, I learned a hell of a lot about that guy today just by listening to Sean Ryan. And it's just something that, you can't just hate on people for the way they feel politically. You have to give people a shot to tell you how they feel and why they feel that way. They could sound completely batshit crazy to you, but that's America. You can't yell at somebody because they feel a certain way. Everything's opinion, ladies and gentlemen. Get it through your heads. Nobody has the answer. Nobody has the answer to where we're going to get money for this. No one has the answer of how we're going to stop a war with Russia and Ukraine, or how we're going to stop a war with Israel and Palestine. Israel's over there fighting a war with terrorists. Is there innocent people over there? Yes, I understand that. But they're fighting a war with terrorists. How do you fight a war against people who don't even care about themselves?